mute everything. Okay, you guys should be able to hear us fine, man. Okay, speak real quick.
Yo, yo.
Okay, they can hear us fine. Just to make sure that none of you people saying we late. It's 5 o'clock. Now it's 5:01. But we clicked that button before it was 5 o'clock. So that shows you right there that we on time. And that's just keeping you guys honest, man. You know, we gotta keep the chat honest. Sometimes you guys a little extra. And I love people are already commenting on the background of your. Is that what the background was for your podcast?
No, that's new. Like 10 minutes ago, new.
We outside. And what's funny? Man. Someone said Addict cleaned his room. What's funny is like over here is just a bunch of laundry that I got sitting here that I'm about to do, and it's laundry day, so my blankets and stuff are in the laundry. My room generally looks like this. It's just there'll be stuff on my bed. There'll be like sometimes my girlfriend's laying in my bed, so I don't want to invade her privacy to that point. But Addict's here alone today. Addict can do whatever the hell he wants. Ain't nobody gonna stop Addict from doing what he want to do. So what's going on, you guys? This is Lord Addict here. I got Dirt Griggity. I have no clue where BitCloud is. He is missing in action. Does not surprise me one bit. I'm sure he'll pop in here sooner or later. Welcome to the Addict Show, where we talk about the past, present, and future game. What's going on, Dirt?
Nothing much, man. Some I was thinking this might be a slow day. You know, there's not a lot of news. And then boom. Boom, this Activision Blizzard, PlayStation, Xbox, this whole thing, man, this has been in the news for going on the whole month of August. There was plenty of talk about this Activision Blizzard deal, and PlayStation, they're kind of upset about certain things. And bro, as soon as it calms down, it cools off, something else pops up.
I love it.
This is great. This is great content for guys like us.
Yeah, and if you guys think whatever we do on this show, it ain't going to be a fraction of what King does Sunday at 1 p.m.
You know it, bro. Oh, man.
And Fame, man, I see you doing those shorts on YouTube.
Those shorts are hilarious,
they're hilarious.
Man.
You got to put those on TikTok, too. I don't know if they are on TikTok.
I think they are on TikTok, yeah. But they're funny, bro. I got to follow you on TikTok. This stuff is hilarious, bro.
Yeah, I don't really do, my TikTok, my girlfriend be saying my TikTok thing be weird, because, it's not like your typical dude, like thirst traps and stuff. I be having, educational videos, trolling videos.
That's definitely weird.
Obviously, the occasional thirst trap throws up itself on mine. But it don't really happen that often.
Mine's is 100% thirst traps. I just watch girls shaking their butt all day. And, some sports stuff, obviously, and some video game stuff. That's it.
If I see
That's
sports
my TikTok.
stuff
it's comedy.
If I see sports stuff pop up on my timeline, I'm clicking that little icon. Says I don't want to see nothing like this.
Never again.
So I appreciate you guys for coming through, man. We're going to talk about a good amount today, man. We got a good little show going on. Obviously, we're going to talk about that Call of Duty deal that just dropped. It's fresh off the press. We're going to talk about that. I love that word. I love that phrase. Fresh off the press. And then we got CD Projekt Red. I kind of want to talk a little bit about CD Projekt Red, where it looks like they are, coming around the corner when it comes to the cyberpunk scenario. Then the Ubisoft Showcase. Give it a little bit of predictions. See what's going on over there, man. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that apparently it's going to be Assassin's Creed focused a little bit. Then there's a PlayStation update. PlayStation, they did this update, which is literally just giving you stuff that the Xbox has had for years, and people want to it's like being patted on the back for doing something that you were supposed to do years ago. It's like the equivalent of if my job, before I was let go of my job, if they're like, we're going to start giving you good health insurance. You should have been doing it. What you talking about? And then we're going to talk about PlayStation being caught red-handed what they handed the cookie jar. And apparently this new design for PlayStation 5 is making it cheaper, and they still raising that price everywhere else but America.
Oh, God.
So, obviously, let's get straight into the intros real quick. Dirt, what you been playing here lately, man? What's that game that's been getting you excited?
Honestly, bro, I just finished Saints Row.
Ooh, I
It
feel
was
bad
okay.
for you. Oh, it was
No,
okay.
it was okay. It was the Saints. It's the Saints Row game. You know, corny dialogue, average graphics, but fun. You know, there's a lot of fun to be had there. Yeah, I just finished it. There's still a whole lot of stuff for me to do if I want. I think I'm at the point I might uninstall it, but I thought I would give it a solid 7. You know, if you like the franchise, you'll definitely like this one. But that's really about it. I'm thinking about going back to my PS5 and cutting it on. Well, you know what? Maybe not because 2K about to come out. You know, I'm a big 2K guy, so yeah. But Saints Row's been the game I've been putting my focus on lately.
Is it sad that when my brother is like, "Can I borrow your PlayStation 5 to play The Last of Us for the 8th time in a row?" I forget I have it. I'm like, "Oh, it is over there, isn't it?" Yeah, I don't care, man. I don't care.
I actually thought about buying The Last of Us re-bleached, as my boy Shaun called it.
Did you see what Angry Joe did?
Yes,
he re-uploaded. He re-uploaded his review for the 2014 of the 2014 one, and then he shows him putting filters on the actual video, and then he names it the remastered review. Like, look, funny, bro. I'm sorry, I'm thinking that's hilarious. That
is hilarious.
That is awesome. Yeah. So it's just like, you know, there's a lot been going on, man. This is awesome because we was there for a good 2 months, Dirt, where we was winging it every week.
Yeah,
like every week we was coming in here with zero to talk about and somehow made it work. Somehow every week we made it work. That's how you know when we know what we doing. We come in here with zero to talk about. Make it last 2 hours. I don't know how we did it. And to this day, I couldn't tell you how we did it, but we did it.
It just happened. It just happened.
So, you know, what I think the first thing, you know, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about the PlayStation, Call of Duty, and Xbox deal. So are you completely up to date with this? What Jim Ryan said and everything?
For the most part, I didn't get a chance to read the full article, but I've been reading some highlights. I've been looking at some of the things that people saying. And you know what surprises me? There's a lot of people talking trash that usually don't talk trash about this kind of stuff, man. You know, I saw the homie Rand kind of throw some shots. Saw Ryan McCaffrey kind of throw some shots. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. These guys are talking some trash. So, you know, I've seen a couple things here and there.
Yeah, so pretty much for those of you that hasn't been keeping up to date, I know some of you probably aren't on Twitter like that. If you are on, definitely go follow us on Twitter. You know, my Twitter's Lord Addict IOP. What's your Twitter, Dirt?
Griggity, Griggity.
Yeah, I'm close to 4,000 followers, man. Go down there and follow me, man. Let's get me to 4,000 followers. So, all right, man. So $2 subscribe from Flame. I really want this still to happen, so it hurts PlayStation. Okay. The messiness has officially started. Let me go out there and say that now. So, pretty much what's happened is Jim Ryan's kind of being a little salty, just a little bit. Jim Dance Move Ryan's like, look, you know, he ain't feeling the deal that they made with the Call of Duty thing. And apparently, it only lasts 3 years after the initial agreement that they got going with Activision currently. For those of you that don't know, that ends at the end of next year. So what's funny is they really only got 4 years of Call of Duty left. Like let's just be real here. If you playing Call of Duty and you're a huge thing, you know, you're the Jabaris, the Personas, and that's your bread and your butter. You're going to have to come over here to Xbox to be able to play that, man. Let's just be honest here, man. I know people are upset. I don't think that the quality of Call of Duty is going to go down, but I will say is it's going to be on Xbox only. So what regardless of what it is, like, I don't know if you know, they might use that as a bargaining chip closer to that 3-year deal is up to be able to be like, look, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft's like, if we give you Call of Duty, you giving us everything. Like, no more Final Fantasies exclusives. Like, you are dropping your guns and I'ma arm you. Like, we gonna do what America did to Japan after the World War II. Like, you can't What's funny is, to my knowledge, Japan they don't have the right to bear arms. They can't assemble. That's what it is. They can't assemble an army. That's literally what Phil popping in. He'd be like, all right, you want Call of Duty? Well, you're going to have to drop every gun you have. Like, drop them all. We're going to pick them up. We're going to put them in our thing. Those are our guns now. Right. You can sit in your shit. You can sit in your house and make some money every month. But as far as shooting us, we taking all that ammo back. I know that's being like legitimately like crazy, and that is what it is, man. When I read this, man, I was like, yo, because if Jim Ryan's coming out and saying a statement like that, there's something going on why he felt the need to talk about it like that. Yeah. So what is your opinion, Dirt?
Well, first off, before I give my take on, I actually have the exact quote. If you want me to read it, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Let's read it.
I hadn't intended to comment on what I understood to be a private business discussion, but I feel the need to set the record straight because Phil Spencer brought this into the public forum. Now, first of all, he said, yo, Phil, put the business out there, so I'm going to respond to it. Now, this is Jim Ryan speaking. Then he said, Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle.
Look, all I'm saying, man, is Phil, if your plan is to walk in the club acting non-threatening, but you actually gonna shoot the place up, do it, man. Like, do. Because here's the thing. You took my Final Fantasy away from me. Doesn't look like I'm still waiting for Persona. It's finally coming, but I'm still waiting for it. All these other things that's gone off the platform. I have zero sympathy for anyone complaining about this. Let me get this $2 super chat real quick. From LeBron98. Jim Lyon has been promoted to Jim Lyonin. And then we got a member chat from Pixelbit G. Jim is lying. Before Phil commented, Sony released a please keep the deal the day it happened. Sea of Thieves, screw him. No. SOT? What does he mean by SOT?
I don't know.
Shit out of luck? No, that's not it.
No.
Screw him, cut him off, light them up on fire. I agree with you. I think that's the reason that I'm a little bit more, I want to see the world burn. Because no one cared about when I couldn't play certain games that I wanted to play. What's funny is you got a lot of people that don't play Final Fantasy or JRPGs in general or anything in that kind of genre. And when Sony walks on the stage and throws out these monies to keep it off the platform, you guys say, well, you just got to go buy it on PlayStation. You got to buy a PlayStation. Mm-hmm. But when Microsoft comes up and buys the building, then that's an issue. And I feel like that mentality is dumb. It's like, look, like, you guys all last generation, I'm not talking about anyone specific, you guys all last generation was constantly saying, Sony, spend your money. Microsoft, spend your money. Microsoft got all this money. I remember so many videos and so many tweeting saying, Microsoft has all this money and they do nothing with it. But when Microsoft comes on, it's like Phil Spencer woke up one day and he got petty and he looked at someone tweet that said, "Hold my beer." It's crazy. Hold up, Slowbo. Final Fantasy VII Remake isn't enough. Think about how much money Call of Duty generates. There's no promising to stop jacking third-party exclusives that will keep from eventually making COD exclusive. If you want, Slow-Mo, you can pop in here if you want. If I don't know if you're,
man.
Yeah, I don't know if you're busy. Here's my thing. The reason I say that Call of Duty would be enough to stop all that, if Microsoft literally walked in there and put their dick on the table and said, we ain't doing nothing with Call of Duty. It's ours. But if you want to stop doing the size stuff, maybe we will let that game be on that platform. I think Sony probably makes more money off Call of Duty than they do off all of those games combined. All of them combined. Because they still have a partnership. Square Enix is still getting a paycheck. They're still taking cuts of it. they're still getting a lot of that money, regardless if they pay royalties. There's a lot of things that goes into that. And not to mention, Call of Duty sells probably more than all of those combined every year. We got Lucius Augustus with a 13-month. No one paying attention to Tencent. Microsoft looking around like, y'all checking me, but they bringing guns in the club. Tencent buying everyone. Well, man, we can get to that, man. We can get to that. So, what is your take on this, Dirt? Do you think that they actually going to pull Call of Duty off the PlayStation platform?
I think this generation, you know what? You guys can keep Call of Duty this generation. But next generation, whenever that is, 7-8 years from now, they might make it exclusive. I mean, obviously we don't know. We're just speculating here, but that's what it seems like to me. And I always say this, business is business. I had no problem when PlayStation had like things in the contract that said games cannot go to Game Pass. I had no problem with that because that's business. It's business. And in business, you have to be aggressive, right? When Xbox crapped the bed at the beginning of Xbox One generation, PlayStation took advantage of that. They say, hey, you can't use games on their console. You can play on ours, though. Here,
this is how you play. This is how you trade games.
And look, as an Xbox fan, I remember watching that like, oh my God.
For a video that probably took them 5 minutes to record.
Max.
It was
5 minutes max.
It was devastating.
Devastating, but that's business, bro. So you can't just be like, you know what? I'm going to let my biggest competitor here. Come on, guys. That's like I always say, right? I never had the heart to really sell drugs, right? Because now this is a crazy analogy, but bear with me. Because I'm the type of guy, I tell a crackhead, you know what? Bring the money back next week, right? You know, then like they're going to take advantage of me. And then my biggest competitor is going to take advantage of that. They're going to take him, he's weak, he's this, he don't know what to do. Business is business. You have to be aggressive. You can't be soft, right? Phil Spencer and Xbox, they know what they have to do. They're Microsoft. They're one of the most successful businesses in the world. They didn't get that way from being soft, worrying about the other competitors. Oh, you know what? We want to help Apple out. Back when, well, actually, I think they did help out Apple back in the days, but now Apple is a monster. I guarantee, like they wish they probably didn't help Apple out back in the day because they're an absolute monster now. So
actually, I think they still own stock in Apple. I think they still get money from.
Well, that's one thing. But the thing is, they're going to leave it on there. But if it goes just the extra 3 years, bro, it is what it is. And it's clear that this is really hurting PlayStation. Like I mentioned, Adam, we've been talking about this for a month.
The third time they've talked about it like publicly. Yeah.
We've been talking about this for a month. And that's his business, man. I believe if PlayStation had the capital to do this, they would have done it themselves. Trust me, they would have.
And part of me feels like they're on the horizon to picking up Square Enix. Mm-hmm. So it's just like if you eat. Like, I don't know if they're talking to them. I don't know if they've already bought them. They're just waiting for a good time to announce it or anything related to that. But if you're even remotely talking to them about buying that company, you're a hypocrite, Sony. Like, because when you buy stuff, you have no thought process on where those games are going to be on, what platform those games are going to be on. You know the answer. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to go on Twitter and cry and scream "Cry Me a River"? I don't know who sung that song, but
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake singing "Cry Me a River" on Twitter about where's Call of Duty going when you've literally been doing nothing but stripping Xbox gamers of all types of IPs. Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest for a while, Yakuza for a while. And people can sit there and say, Addict, it's because they weren't pursuing these games. Look, I will agree with you. Microsoft probably had a little bit to do with it as not pursuing these games like really bad. But I don't think it was entirely Microsoft. I think there was a lot of Sony that's like over there's a lot of relationships going on where they're just like, do you guys really need Xbox?
Plus they're the market. Plus, like, they're the market leader. They're the market leader. So yeah, you're right about that, man.
And I think that's just my biggest issue, Dirt. It's just like that people love Microsoft to just bend the knee. oh no, it's fine. You know, if they buy Sega, if they buy Sega next, like what's gonna happen then? Like, are we gonna sit there and say, okay, you bought Sega, we still think Sonic deserves to be on all platforms? Like, no. The problem is you guys bit your horse on someone that can't buy a house. You bet your horse on people that are door dashing when Microsoft is buying DoorDash.
Right.
Like it's just like it is what it is. Like if you want to be able to talk your shit, back a horse that can buy stuff. Like, look, and I'm not even saying like acting like I'm the one that's over here buying stuff. I don't own a damn stock in Microsoft. I don't care. But all I know is I would never, when Sony buys Square Enix, I'm not going to go on Twitter and say they shouldn't have done it. Because I know that they realistically need to do that. Are we going to let Tencent buy Square Enix? That could be a huge possibility. The problem is there's so much stuff going on right now that Sony is not just buying stuff because of Microsoft. They're like, look, there is a handful of companies that can buy these companies. And they're all constantly. Keep in mind, Amazon is still searching stuff. Sure, they might not. I think Amazon's more on a what can we do multimedia now, not just gaming. Like, I was told that the Lord of the Rings show, they're putting all of their money in that one basket. They're like, if this show bombs,
it's doing well though for them though.
Yeah. That's good. So it seemed like that's more of that. Now, when it comes to Amazon, keep in mind, look, some of these games, sure, they're probably not going to sell well in terms of finances with a game. But Amazon's over there looking at like, let's say we do buy Activision. Cost us a little penny. But we can make like 18 Overwatch shows with that.
Right.
They buy, Embracer Group can literally probably develop a network that's dedicated to gaming lore TV shows and be fine. They got Mercenaries. Imagine a Destroy All Humans TV show. That could work.
Yeah. Tomb Raider. Shoot, they got Tomb Raider now.
See, there's so much they can do with that. And I think Microsoft's still on the gaming first and then everything after. Like, what can we get this with gaming? And then after that, what can we leverage those IPs to get further on? Like they did with Minecraft. They made that money back already.
Absolutely. And you're right about that. Yep. And I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
No, finish.
No, so I was about to say, but at the end of the day, where this all comes down to is Game Pass, right? Microsoft wants Game Pass to be the best possible service it can be. And because they're Microsoft, because they have the money to buy a publisher like Activision Blizzard, they got the bread. They want this service to be the best that it can be. Now, if you think about how like Netflix, like some of the things they did in the past, whether it's buying, like making a deal with this franchise, their original series, their original movies, maybe they might have went a little haywire, but then again, Netflix is not Microsoft, right? So Microsoft, what they're doing, they have to continue to make Game Pass the best that it can be. And if you buy the biggest multi-platform game, now, first off, they already own one of the top 3 multi-platform games in Minecraft. Now they're about to own another one. The only other one besides that is GTA.
And I would say it's not the same, but Overwatch isn't as big as Call of Duty, but it's got a good impact like Call of Duty.
Absolutely. Right. And they're about to own that. Yep.
People forget Overwatch because it's been so long since they've done anything recent to that brand. When they drop Overwatch 2, I think it's in October, isn't it, next month? You're going to see a huge jump towards Overwatch 2. People love that game. Overwatch is one of the few things that I seen come out that's a multiplayer only and snatched up Game of the Year. Overwatch is one of the few games besides something like Minecraft that came in there and be like, oh yeah, we doing our own con. They doing their own con on one video game. Let's get these super chats. They're getting kind of crazy. We got a $2 super chat from Natty Nay. I have no. That's a crazy name. Love Jim Ryan up up in his feeling.
Feelings. I love that. I love that. Feelings. I love that.
The angry therapist MD with the $5 super chat. Jim not worried about the 3 years he don't want it on Game Pass. Yeah, that's probably what it is mainly. Because even if that game didn't go to Game Pass, stayed on their platform, for the most part, unless you're a hardcore console fan, you're not gonna go somewhere else. You're gonna play that on Xbox because it's the best value, especially if you just play Call of Duty really every year.
Absolutely.
Unless
you're like a big PlayStation fan, like you said, there's still millions of people still on PS4 and Xbox One. Mm-hmm. And like when those folks are ready to upgrade, they're not like us. I'm a bot, I'm a pony. No, they're like, whatever. I want to do what's best for me. What my friends have.
And people don't realize you could walk into a Walmart, GameStop, Target, Best Buy, and you could buy a $300 Xbox Series S and walk out of there with Call of Duty. Walk out of there with Overwatch 2. Walk out of there with Minecraft. Walk out of there with Halo Infinite. Regardless what condition it is, it's still a fun game. It's just,
it is.
The roadmap should be better. They should have been better prepared. Walk out of there with Wasteland 3. Walk out of, I could keep naming games. Ninja
Forza.
Blades, Hellblade. Walk out of there with Forza. There is so much, if you think about that, Bethesda games. Walk out with Fallout 4, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, but Fallout 76, Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind,
Starfield next year.
EA Play.
Bro, I'm just saying. Listen, but you're making sense though, man. And it's if you put aside you're an Xbox fanboy. I'm a gamer first, right? And I wish something like Xbox Game Pass was around when I was in my early 20s when I was broke as hell. Are you kidding me?
Shit, I'm still broke as hell. Thing ever, man. I'm still broke as hell. Give me them super chats. It's just I think the part that just gets me annoyed is just the lack of, it's okay if Sony does it, it's not okay if PlayStation does it. Look, I call both out very equally. I think that, regardless what people call me, you can call me whatever you want. You can call me a fanboy this, a fanboy that. You can never show me where if I change my opinion on something, it's because I was someone got me to change my opinion on something. Mm-hmm. It's not because I flip-flopped. It's not because one day I felt like, my views are lacking. Time to make some PlayStation content. I don't go with the crowd. Most of the time I go against the crowd. And I get a lot of snap for that. And the part that annoys me is you got people that will say that this is bad, but then they go on Twitter and be some of the most shady people and some of the most you can buy, because that's what it is. That they are changing their opinion to make more money. They're literally what's the word I'm looking for? Their opinion's not being bought, but it's subconsciously being bought, because when you change your outlook because you know where the direction of the wave is going and you do that intentionally so you can get more money, that is not authentic. That is changing your opinion. That might as well be bought, because the super chat's going to come through. You got probably 100 more haters in the chat. You know how easy it is to if next week I just started making anti-Xbox content and just shitting on Xbox 24, never talk about PlayStation, but just going hard on Xbox every day, everyone in this chat most likely would slowly leave, but I would get the people in here that will literally, that they'll like the channel because I'm talking mad snap. They'll super chat because they feel like I'm agreeing with them and I'm co-signing all their crazy thoughts. Some of these people deserve counseling. And let's be real here. Some of these people need to be in counseling. It's so easy to do that. And, that's why I brought Dirt on here, because Dirt just does it for fun. He's like, look, but he owns everything. He plays everything. He never takes none of this seriously. Now, some of you might take what he says seriously. But
definitely.
But it's never one of those things where I'm talking to Dirt and I'm like, yo, someone do a wellness check on him, man. What's going on?
Listen, I do prefer Xbox genuinely. but I don't hate PlayStation. But at the end of the day, this is it's all about entertaining. Like I tell the story on my channel all the time, Addict. I was just the Xbox guy in the chat watching Iron Lords, watching BGST, watching all of these channels, and just over so much time, you're like, man, I'm just trying to be a new, fresh voice. It took me a while to get to 1,000 subs, but I'm growing. But at the end of the day, yes, I prefer Xbox, and I got tired of PlayStation fanboys. The stuff they did to us last generation, like how I always say that beat our knees in. I just got tired of it, and it's time for us to have some fun. But at the same time, I'm not about to lose sleep over this stuff. Like, I'm not
You're not about to be that
baby
in the background.
yeah, like the little man baby.
Hey, what's funny, I might do. I have stepped away from the smoke for the most part on Twitter. I don't really engage in that too much, but occasionally, if I know, like, I get some birdies telling me when a game's going to be trash or not, and if it's a PlayStation title, I may or may not set an alarm for 10 minutes before that embargo lifts. I may do that. I may not do that. I'm not going to confirm or deny anything. Maybe your boy just sits there in his bed at night with the little blanket over his head, just looking at his phone, just refreshing and refreshing and refreshing. I might do that. And that might be a little toxic trait of mine. If I did that, or if I don't do that. Let me get these super chats real quick. I appreciate you guys.
It's funny stuff, man. What?
Yeah, okay.
I think we got Raiden Blade.
Yeah, $5 super chat with Raiden Blade. Guys, in the words of Aaron Greenberg. Sorry, not sorry. Jim, stop with the crocodile crying. CMA can't stop anything. If this goes to court, you're doomed. CMA, is that the people who
that's the UK folks.
Oh, the UK folks.
Yeah, that
$2 super chat for Lucius Augustus. Jim Ryan is currently the number 11 trending on Twitter.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like in all of Twitter? 11? That's crazy considering how big of a platform Twitter is. $2 super chat from Carlos. Jim Ryan is the best thing to happen to Xbox. Yo,
hey, what's up, Carlos? What's up, man?
In a way of the brand, because I do feel like putting games on PC and stuff devalues the PlayStation brand. I don't think it devalues it devalues the PlayStation 5, the console. I don't think it devalues the brand, but it does devalue the console. Like, tell me they're not going through what Xbox people went through years ago, where stuff's going to PC. You guys having like we feel you, man.
2016, remember Xbox guys lost their mind when Xbox announced every Xbox first party game is going to PC. People was like, what? I didn't me personally, I didn't care. But there was some Xbox guys in the community lost their minds. Like, this is BS. Phil Spencer, what's wrong with you? And blah. Oh, man. I never forget.
Imagine the very first game that goes to PlayStation and PC day and date. We're going to have a good day that day.
I might call in sick that day just to
imagine it don't even it don't even have to be a trash game. Like, it don't even have to be a good game. It could be anything.
Anything.
Like, I'm gonna latch on to that like a tiger trying to feed his cubs. Well, it is whatever. I don't know.
It can be Sackboy. I don't care. Like the new Sackboy.
Just give me enough to go in. Like, and what's funny is I troll people, but at least I troll in super chats. I'll pop in there in like a Jabari thing, and I'll pop in there and I'll be like, how's that Call of Duty deal going for you? So because I know it's jokes and I know it's gonna get live conversation in the chat. Sometimes people get a little upset. I used to do it to some of these crazy PlayStation fanboys, and I started worrying for my health and well-being.
Yeah, some of these guys take it serious, bro.
Yeah, then $10 super chat from Shark in a chair. Oh, okay. Halo news is killing me, man. Yeah, Halo.
You'll be all right.
We could talk about that here in a minute. Raiden Blade with the $2 super chat. Dirt Alvarado. How are
Alvarado.
You? Alvarado. Hey, Addict, just arrived. Appreciate it, Raven Blade. So, we could talk about that later on. But, I think that's pretty much all we can really talk about this. I think we do need a little bit more information before we can. But, man, let Phil come out on that stage when that deal was finalized and say, after 3 years, this Call of Duty is going to be exclusive to the Xbox platform. Let that happen and see. I'm going to have a fun day. Fun day. All right, so let's talk about CD Projekt Red, man. CD Projekt Red. We 47 minutes in, doing the timestamps for the timestamp mafia right now.
There you go.
10 seconds. So
there you go.
All right, so now we have a lot of stuff going on. First off, did you ever beat the Cyberpunk? Did you ever beat that?
No, I didn't.
I dropped it like a bad case of.
I dropped it. I picked it back up when they upgraded to next generation, but then I put it back down. But it's a solid game. I'm going to go back and finish it because I finished The Witcher 3 years ago because I love Witcher 3. So I'm going to go back and finish it because I thought the game was pretty solid. The second, like when they upgraded to next gen, I thought it was solid. So
my question to you is, do you think with all the damage that they done to their brand when they released Cyberpunk, and I wouldn't even say the way it was, there's a difference between releasing a game broken and hiding releasing a game broken. And they were doing a lot of very shady stuff, like silence the Dreamcast guy on Twitter and YouTube because he got a game. He didn't even get a review copy. He got the Amazon messed up and sent him his early. So, do you think that with all that happened, their stocks dropped, all that bad publicity, do you think that they could come back from that?
Absolutely. I think the gaming industry, well, not just gaming, in life in general, for the most part, you mess up, you have an opportunity to redeem yourself, and they have an opportunity to redeem themselves. If this DLC, this expansion that they have coming out is great, people are going to forget all about it. If The Witcher 4 or whatever they're going to make the next Witcher, people are going to forget all about Cyberpunk. Trust and believe. That's just how it is. If you make some quality stuff, okay, that's like with your girlfriend. You piss your girl off, you buy her some flowers, you buy her some candy, you do certain things for her. It might take a minute. It depends on how much you pissed her off. But eventually, if she loves you enough, she'll be like, okay, let's work this out. Now, don't mess up again now. But
at least got to get a couple months before you mess up again. Like it got to be a little bit of time frame, man. If you mess it up week after week, okay, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Sofa King said he broke embargo. Dreamcast guy did. He did break embargo, but he wasn't under embargo. There's a difference between you signing a piece of paper or you getting a piece of paper saying that you're under embargo and being under embargo. He got the copy. He was under pretty much the embargo of everyone, but he wasn't under a specific embargo. Now, he shouldn't have broke it. He shouldn't have. But because it wasn't his fault he got access to that game, part of me feels like they should have let him rock. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, but let me say to you this way, Sofa King, and let me ask you, Dirt, if that was a lit game and it was actually went the opposite way that everyone that it went, do you think they would have silenced them if it was good feedback?
Probably not.
Yeah, I don't think they would have either. And keep in mind, he didn't even get a review copy, so that right there is sketchy. Even if you don't like Dreamcast guy, if you don't like the decisions he makes and some of the videos he makes, he still has a huge following. And
he does.
If he didn't get a review code, there's something shady about that in general.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. But back to what I was saying, I just feel if you do enough to, if you look at PlayStation 3, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, they messed up at the beginning of that generation pretty bad. But over the years, they were able to, fans forgave them for the $600 mishap, for some of the things, the developers were mad at them. Remember when Gabe Newell was like, the PS3 is BS. Some of the developers was pissed at Sony for the PS3, but they forgave them. The same thing with the Xbox One. I don't know if that many people forgave them, but Xbox is doing well enough now to see that people forgave them. So as long as you continue to improve and continue to do something better to make people forget about your past mistakes. Now, some people would never forget. Some people, just will constantly bring it up. I always bring up the Xbox One generation and all that stuff. But if you do things to make everything better, I think people will move on and forget about it. Like if Halo Infinite, I know we're gonna talk about this later. If Forge drops in November or some other stuff, like a couple maps drop this year, and whenever they drop like the content from season 3, over time, people gonna forgive it, man, because the gameplay was always solid. You know what I'm saying? Like the game was polished. It was just a roadmap was the issue. I think people will forgive what happened with 343. Not some people, but as long as the game is good, they'll be like, okay.
And then you got to think about it this way too. Gamers were very, what are you doing now?
Mm-hmm.
If Witcher 4 comes out and it's horrible, glitchy, it doesn't have that same oomph that Witcher 3 had. They don't fix Cyberpunk to a point where people are okay with it. To my knowledge, people are starting to be okay with Cyberpunk already.
Absolutely.
So they can only go up from here.
Yeah.
The moment they come out with Witcher 4, and I don't think they're going to let that launch broken. They're going to take extra time on that.
No way.
It's going to be one of those things where I saw a TikTok, and I don't know anyone in the army. I appreciate you for your service, but I saw someone going back to the armory, and he was like turning in his gun, and he sits there and looks at it, and the armor's like, clean this damn thing, and throws it back to him, and he comes back like 3 hours later, and he's like, it's still dirty, and he throws it back to him. It's like, that's how they're going to do it, man. They're going to hire more Q&As than people actually coding for the game. They're going to have so many Q&As watching. He's like, look, man, you push start, it takes a half a second longer to get to the menu at this point. Send it back. Find out why he's doing that. Like,
facts, man. Facts. They're gonna make sure that game is as polished as can be. They don't want no.
They don't have another one. If
oh yeah, I agree.
If Witcher 4 messes up, that's a wrap.
I agree, bro. That's why I said, if you mess up and then you redeem yourself, people will forgive you. But if you mess up and then mess up again, nah, you're in trouble, big time. You're in big time trouble.
Yeah, so we're gonna move on with that one because I didn't really think that was gonna take a whole lot of our time. I was very interested because I see a lot of people say that there's nothing they could do, and I'm looking at these comments on Twitter and I'm like, you clearly haven't been around that long. Right. I will say that they have done some off the wall stuff. I'm not gonna excuse them for that. But gamers are all about, if you give me good content 2 years from now, it don't matter what you do now. It don't. As long as you can keep the lights on and give us that content, it does not matter what you do now. Look at companies that completely was almost Capcom, almost out of business. Monster Hunter gave them enough money and they started reinventing games, doing what they needed to. Now they probably have some of the most success of all the publishers right now. It does not matter what you do right now. It matters what you do in the future. And as long as you get someone in there and you can keep the lights on, you can get the shit moving in the right direction, all these companies can turn it around. Every single last one of them. I don't care who they are. That's why people sit there and they talking real extra about Microsoft all last generation. Justifiable. Like, they needed that talk. They needed that smoke, that work. But they took all of that energy you guys gave them on Twitter and they turned themselves into an Ultra Instinct Goku. And now that, they sitting there just dodging people. They ain't getting hit. Sony's tried to hit them in the gut like 8 times in the past year. And Microsoft just jumping over them. Just jumping over them like Jiren trying to hit Goku. It's
You're
epic.
right, man. You're right. But it always happens like that. If there's a console generation that doesn't go as well as that company planned it to,
it humbles
that
you.
Following generation, they're using on point, right? I mean, they're using on point. Look at the
PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4. You got the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, and you got the Xbox One to the Series X. Like, right now we still a little early in the generation. I'll give you guys that, but I do think we've seen enough to know this is a different Microsoft. It's not the same.
Absolutely. Easily. Even I will go far back to say, even the Sega Saturn to the Dreamcast. The Dreamcast died prematurely because the PS2 was an absolute monster. But when you think about the Dreamcast itself, all of the mistakes they made with the Saturn, the Dreamcast was easier to develop for. They had great first party games. They had some third party exclusives like Soul Calibur, and man, Dreamcast was awesome. But the PS2 killed it prematurely. But yeah, they messed up with the Saturn. They fixed it with the Dreamcast. But unfortunately.
So what we gonna do? I'm going to update it's 57 minutes for the Timestamps Mafia. That's updated for you guys.
Yeah, Timestamp Mafia.
I'm gonna literally start calling the Timestamp Mafia.
I like that actually.
The Timestamps Mafia, man. They come at me. If it was funny, the people that would be in the chat was only a couple. It's not like a bunch of you. Most of you were pretty chill with the timestamps. It's like, look, watch the whole thing or shut up. But there will be some that will be in that chat. Addict, where's the timestamps? I ain't watching this timestamps without timestamps. Where are you in the chat now? Where's my thanks for the timestamps? Where's that at? Because you were so quick to come at me over timestamps when they weren't there. Where's the addict? You listened to feedback and you did the right thing. Where's that? I don't see that. I feel away. Where is it? But we're gonna move on. So
show some love.
We got some place. No, we don't. We not there yet. We got the Ubisoft Showcase. I think it's sometime next week.
I think it's Saturday, isn't it?
Oh God, Saturday.
I don't know. Saturday. Is it Saturday?
I don't know if we're going to stream that. Saturday.
I think it's Saturday. Like, let me double check. I don't want to give you no wrong information.
Look,
I believe it's Saturday.
Dawn said, "Addict sounded like 343." Yo, I don't like that comparison. You know what? It's fine. Call me 343 Addict. It's fine.
What's the name of this show? The Ubisoft Showcase?
Ubisoft something.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Saturday, what time?
3 p.m. Eastern time.
3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep.
People in the chat, you want IOP to react to that? If you say yes, I'm gonna tell them that you said no. So just say no. People in the chat, put in that if you want us to react to the Ubisoft Showcase. Because I'm curious. Damn it. Why did I even ask them that? Obviously, they'd be up for free content.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of a stupid question. I just say, there you go, Far. You working with me, man. You working with me. Called Ubisoft Forward. That's what Marco R says.
Yeah.
All right, so
that's what it's called.
We on with Ubisoft. Now, a lot of people are completely against Ubisoft. I
like Ubisoft, bro.
I think they make good games. Look, I do think that, maybe they're not where they used to be, but who is where they used to be?
Nintendo.
Yeah, I mean, even Nintendo to a point.
Yeah.
No one is who they used to be. Look,
it's a different time.
It's easy to go out there and tell a multi-million-dollar company, yo, that Assassin's Creed doing numbers. Don't keep doing it. What? You know what's funny? You got the same people telling Ubisoft to change stuff. They're making the same two types of videos on YouTube. Make it make sense. Usually when you see something that is successful, you try to dig the hell out of that. You try to replicate that as many times as you want.
Right.
There's a reason Angry Joe does the angry reviews and he has that persona. Because it's worked.
Right.
So it's just like, what? First off, we'll do realistic predictions. What is a realistic prediction, Dirt, that you see at the Ubisoft Forward Showcase?
Realistic, of course, they already mentioned Assassin's Creed will be a big focus there, which I love Assassin's Creed games. But a realistic, they're going to show that Splinter Cell remake they're developing.
The what?
They're developing, I think Ubisoft is developing, I don't know which team, Splinter Cell remake. You don't remember hearing about that?
No, I've heard about it for a while. I know it's in development. Yeah. I don't know if I don't know if they're ready for that, because I know that they just announced it last year, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I didn't say they were going to reveal the release date. They might just show a little bit of it. I mean, by being a remake, I don't think it's going to take the typical 4 to 5 years.
Maybe not.
Probably take 3. Yeah, probably take 3,
I think that might be a fair, realistic expectation. I think we're probably going to see Skull and Bones.
That's 100% realistic. I believe that's totally going to be there.
I will say I may or may not have already played Skull and Bones.
Really?
I cannot confirm or deny that.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
So, it's going to be interesting to see how people react to it. I think it's going to be a good game. I do.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about coming out with God of War. I don't know about all that.
Right.
But I think it's going to find its audience. I mean, if you think about it, Ubisoft's always found its audience. For Honored, there's a lot of games that they have found their audience.
The Division. Rainbow Six.
We don't talk about the Division. They
but
found their audience and they lost their audience. It just
that's
they
true.
Found it.
Because the first Division, I put a lot of time in that game, but the second one, I ain't put that much time in it. But like Rainbow Six is huge. Siege.
This is probably one of the biggest first. That might be actually one of the biggest redemption arcs that's ever happened in gaming. Like, to be honest with you,
it started off real slow. Yeah,
they thought that it was going to. It was going to flop. Someone said, "Don't forget Addict to bend the knee to King for the Halo ass whooping." Oh, but I beat him once too. So how is that going to work? I beat him. See, I can't bend the knee to him because he didn't stand on his square and take that bend the knee. I offered, for those of you that don't know, we did a community night last Sunday. Epic. Fun. Loved it. But so King was talking that smack like King always talks. So I was like, okay, King, we playing Halo Infinite. You go over there, I'll go over there, and we're gonna draft the people in here. So let me tell you, Dirt. We down by 15. End of it. I ain't gonna lie. Myself was thinking this is a wrap. This is a wrap. So I start be like, I see that gauge going up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, we can come back. So we take the lead, like 15 before the victory. So I'm sitting there and I'm doing everything. I'm trying to be what the lead is supposed to be. I'm trying to motivate. I'm trying to do what I can. I was like, you guys got this. We got this. Don't give them no ground. Like,
and the leader.
And then King, the moment that victory thing popped up, King, first thing I hear King say, cause I think someone told King sorry, like on his team. I didn't hear it because I was so captivated, just absorbing the win into my soul. I think someone said sorry. King's like, no, we don't tell people sorry. And I think to myself, now you better tell them sorry. You better tell them sorry, man, because you failed them, King. You lost that game. So then we go into the second one. He like run it back. My dumb ass shouldn't have ran it back. Okay,
they got all that second game. Huh?
I should have took that W and walked out the front door with it, but I didn't. I was all right, King. We'll play this again, but I want you to do a bend the knee on this right now. If I win this Sunday live, you got to bend the knee. He wouldn't do it. So we playing the next game. We about maybe 10, 15 minutes into it. Hey, that's probably exaggerating, like probably 7. We losing by 20. Wow. And the King's like, oh, I'll do the bend the knee now. I'm like, oh, I sure you would.
That was winning.
Yeah, apparently King downloaded, because King didn't download the game before. I don't know why. So he downloads Halo because we're waiting for him, and he sends out invites, and it's Halo 5. It was a fun time, man. You guys pulled up. It was a great time. Like, I really enjoyed that community day. I'm thinking, maybe in the future try to get more communities in on it. Try to do community streams with other podcasts. Try to do like a day that we can get as many people together and play and stuff. I think it'll be fun, man. I think it'll be fun. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Ubisoft, it is what it is. I think we just need to see more from Ubisoft, really. And I'm curious to see what they have. I'm not going to be a downer like other people and say that they're not going to have anything, but at the same time, I'm going to be realistic with their situation. All right, so let's talk about PlayStation update. So did you see that? Did you see that update PlayStation got?
Yeah, I saw Austin Evans. He did something. He broke it down and said some smaller parts in there, some other stuff. So it
No,
looks
this is
like
the
it's
software update.
the software. I'm sorry, my bad. Yeah, I saw the 1440p and yeah, you said stuff the Xbox One X had. Yeah, I know.
So let's go over these, chat. Let's go over these. Now look at me, man. We gonna really go in now. Shout
Let's
out
go.
to the $2 super chat from the Angry Therapist MD. This is 317 people watching this. Hit that like button. That's right. You got 317 people watching this. Hit that like button, man.
Button.
We got to get that to like 150. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's
Over
fair.
300 people in here. I'm asking for 150. I think we can do that. You guys can do that. All right, we're going to move on, though. So, I'm looking at this. Okay, let's do this, okay? PlayStation does a post on September the 7th at 5 a.m. They love posting stuff early ass in the morning here recently, don't they?
Hell yeah.
They're like, new PS5 software features are rolling out globally today. 1440p HDMI video output. Game list. They're promoting game list. New PS5 XE and enhancements and social features. So it's cool that they're updating their stuff. And I'm not really here to talk snap about them updating. I'm not. Because I think it's nice that they are updating their software and they're giving more features to their platform. The question I have to you, Durs, why does it take so damn long?
Oh, that's a damn good question. I don't think I can answer, bro. I don't have a clue. I don't have a clue why it's taking them so long. Like, hell, it took them 10 years to like figure out how to change the name, didn't they? I don't know, man. I don't know what's taking them so long to do basic stuff that Xbox had for years. 1440p was on the Xbox One X. That came out in 2017. So I'm not sure why stuff takes them so long, brother. I have no idea.
It's funny. I just don't understand why it takes them so long to run stuff back. Why is there no gifting on the PlayStation 5?
Yeah, that's a good question. You know what? It seemed like when you think about like some of the things that Xbox has, gifting and some of the other stuff, it seemed like Xbox for some reason thinks about the future. They think about the next Xbox. PlayStation seems like they're thinking about the current PlayStation. They don't think about future stuff.
PlayStation is like one of those people that they don't write a grocery list. They just go and grocery, and then they just forget a bunch of stuff later. They're like, we bought the hot dogs, and but we ain't get no buns. Like, like, did someone get the chili? Are we eating hot dogs without chili? Like,
exactly. That's a good analogy. That's exactly what they seem like to me. Like, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have that. Damn it, we don't have 1440p available on our console. What the hell? Yeah, that's what it seems like, man.
To me, I can understand like 6 months after the PS5 came out. Why did it take them so long to have 2K video output? And you know what it seems like? It seems like the reason that they're doing it too is because they're trying to get into the monitor space again.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like their platform kind of needs to give you the option to go 1440p, or what's the point realistically?
Right.
So I'm just like, why did it take you this long? We're in 2022. When did the PS5 come out, Dirt?
2020.
2 years.
Yeah.
Hey, Dirt. When did Xbox have 2K output?
2017.
2017. Oh my god. Yo, tell me how's it feel, PlayStation fans, to get a feature that we had 5 years ago? That's crazy. That's crazy. That kind of mentality. I'm low key shocked they have SSDs in the PlayStation.
Oh, the SSD, that beautiful, lovely SSD. Do you remember how some of those guys were talking trash about the SSD when they found out that PlayStation, quote unquote, had a better SSD than the Xbox Series X? They ran with it. Oh, they were talking trash. Oh, it's going to make the frames better.
Is it better? Sure. I mean, it might be better, but does it matter? Probably not.
Yeah. I ain't seen a damn thing to show it off yet.
It's just like, I'm sure you could run Ratchet and Clank on the PS4. I'm confident you can.
Yeah.
Sure, it might not look as good and it might load a lot longer, but I'm sure if you wanted to, if they could get The Witcher 3 and Skyrim to run on the Switch,
Right.
Ratchet and Clank could easily run on the PlayStation 4 Pro.
Right.
But so it's the magical SSD.
The magical SSD.
I think
I
think
No, go
that's
ahead.
my biggest point, Dirt. It's just like, why does it take them so long to bounce back? Like when Xbox does something, it takes them like quadruple the amount of time. But it feels like when PlayStation does something and Xbox needs to recover, they do it relatively fast. You know, they just got a PlayStation Pro controller. When did the PlayStation Pro? When did the Xbox controller Pro controller come out?
I believe 2015 or 2016?
Yo,
It was one of those years.
8 years, Dirt.
It was one of those years. I'm thinking it was 2015 they announced the Elite controller. I could be wrong.
So
No, it was 2015.
It's like you have this, you know, you see the competition doing this stuff, and they're like, you know what? I like that. We're going to take 7 years to make that. So it took them the amount of time it takes them to research and develop an entire PlayStation 5 to make their own Pro controller. Explain that to me, please. Like, that's just my, like, obviously, I don't know nothing when it comes to research and development, how much time it goes into. But to me, when you have some of the, probably the most talented people in the world, one would think you could come out with a controller in half the time it took them to come out with the controller.
You would think that.
I need to get someone. Oh yeah. Let's talk about that real quick since we're on it. The Elite controller 2.5. That's all I'm calling it. Okay, the reason that this is lit is because it's in Design Labs.
Yeah.
Are you buying one of these?
You know what? I had got the like Halo Infinite one, so I'm not like really in a rush because I'm loving the Halo Infinite Elite. But I might have to get me a customized one, you know, as far as colors go, because it looks pretty good, man. And like they're 130 now because they don't include all of the accessories, all of the extra stuff. So they're 130. So I'm thinking about it, man. I might have to give me one with a green and black.
Yeah. I think, you know, I'm going to try to come in the back door and be like, Microsoft, why don't you send me a review copy? Like,
send me, that's a way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm going to try, man. I don't know if it's going to work, you know, because, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully I can get me one. You know, I think I'm going to come across one regardless because I just been wanting the ability to do it. That's what I want. It's nice that you're giving people the option to change that stuff if they choose to. Keep in mind you don't have to do none of this.
Absolutely, man. I mean, this is like, just imagine you couldn't get certain things in certain colors. You know, like you get a new car, it's only in black. That's it. I mean, you'll take it, but like, damn, man, I wish I could have chose my color. Or, you know, so for them to get an option, like you said, I think it's cool for them to get an option. You know, it's an option. You can use it or you don't use it, but I think it's cool just for it to be there. You know, now the question is, when will PlayStation do it? You think in 28?
Okay, so it took them 7 years to make the controller. So I'm thinking, do we want to say it's going to take more years to find a way to customize the controller? It's going to take less years. I feel like what Microsoft did it in how long? The Elite controller came out in 2015. We're getting it now. So that's 7 years.
Yeah.
So Sony, we looking at like 2032, 2033. Like, yeah. I feel like it's gonna take them a minute. Let's go on to the finale, man. Let's go on to the finale. PlayStation caught slacking, man. Whoa. I don't know if you saw. See, this is you were talking about earlier, the Austin Evans thing.
Yeah.
So PlayStation has pretty much re-infrastructured the way that the PlayStation 5 is made. Every manufacturer does this. TVs do it. Everyone does it because the goal is to make the product as cheap as possible with still the quality that the product has, so you can make more money. For those of you know, they did just increase the price. Wasn't too long ago. We like what, a couple weeks from that?
Yeah.
And now we got Austin Evans and a couple other people. They picking apart the new PlayStation 5, and they're saying that they have shrunk the heat sink, which a heat sink was huge. You could kill a man with that heat sink. They shrunk, I think it was the fan a little bit. They've done a lot to that platform to make it cheaper. I'm assuming it's going to be cheaper. Austin Evans said
absolutely
cheaper.
Why else would they do it, right? I mean, so, you could say be more efficient, but it's to make make it cheaper to make. Yeah, you're right.
So one would think Sony's like, oh, good. You know, we finally made stuff cheaper. We're doing better with the inflation, and I feel like we're good now. Nah, Sony was like, yo, it's gonna cost less. Raise the price.
Raise it up, baby. Raise that price up,
sir. How much? How much you think they'll pay? Like, exactly. Well, I think people in Europe will pay 50, 100.
Yep.
No, they did it 50. So, like, to me, I'm sitting here looking at this, and I'm like, why did they raise the price? If they're first off, they were making a profit originally. That was during the pandemic too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
that's what they said.
One would think that they might even be making more money than they were then. I don't know. I don't know production stuff like that. I know the platform I play on, they got bags to fix that. I don't know about Sony. Sony bags look a little weak.
No.
So I'm sitting here looking at this and I'm like, Microsoft, like, look, it's cost of business. We got to get the console to the consumer, and that's just going to have to be that for a while. We'll use Game Pass, subscription services, selling of games. We'll use that to offset this cost that we're doing now. Sony's like, nah. They paying this. I ain't paying this. Why you going to ask me? I gave you the bangers. You like that Last of Us Part 2? You're paying for it. You paying the development costs indirectly. You like that? You like that Spider-Man 2? We might charge you an extra 10 for that. We don't know what we doing yet. Got a $2 super chat from Devi. The stock price is the reason they charging more. Okay, we're going to continue. So, one of my question to you, Dirt, is why is no one talking about this? I didn't see it anywhere on Twitter. Ain't nobody was talking about it.
I was just about to say that. Before this Jim Ryan crying news dropped, nobody was talking about this. And I believe this Austin Evans video was yesterday or the day before yesterday. Nobody was talking about it. We've been around, well, I'm much older than you, but every console generation, they do this, like you said. Maybe we didn't know it back then because of social media. We didn't know it. Lack of social media, I should say. But they do it every generation. The launch model, as like the console generation goes further along, the parts get cheaper. Then they eventually do slim models. Why do they do slim models? To make a cheaper console. That's, like you said, that's the same quality. This has been going on for years. And most of the time, well, actually, 10 out of 10 times, the slim models are usually cheaper than the launch models. They're smaller and they're cheaper. So PlayStation, they're making smaller parts. Now, the PS5 is still big as hell. It's still the same size on the outside, but the parts on the inside are smaller. So, of course, they're probably cheaper, making the PS5 cheaper to manufacture. But yet and still, they raised that price. And like you said, Addy, nobody's talking about it. Nobody's saying a damn thing about it. The media, nobody.
I honestly feel like if Microsoft raised the prices on Xbox and then a couple weeks later it was announced that the Series X is being cheaper to make, I feel like you would see this everywhere. Every news media would be covering this right now. You'd see 15 spaces talking about it. You would see YouTube videos popping everywhere. It would be everywhere on TikTok. But I haven't seen no one talking about this.
Nobody, bro. Nobody. I guess they just said, who cares? Like, I don't know. Nobody's talking about it.
You know what I think it is? I think that Microsoft's a little bit more accepting when it comes to criticism, as long as it's done respectfully. Mm. I think people are scared to talk against Sony. Because they're scared that they might pull the curtain back and be like, you ain't getting nothing from us ever again.
Like Survivor.
Yeah, I think
like Survivor, they blackballed them. Oh, y'all ain't getting nothing from us.
And I think you see it in different ways. Like you saw it with, what was the thing they just did? When they did The Last of Us Part 2, the restrictions to those embargoes was incredibly crazy. It's like one of
the. You talking about the remake? You talking about the remake?
No, the Part 2.
Oh, you talking about Part 2? Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was 2020. Yeah.
Those embargoes was insane. And to me, I feel like you put people in a position where they feel like they have to play ball, especially reviewers, poor reviewers, because if you make one of these publishers mad or these console manufacturers, you're done. Because now, unless you have like a huge following, like, you know, like ACG, Dreamcast Guy, Angry Joe, like you can live with that, because, and if anything, they're so big at this point that I think Sony would be like, we can't just cut them off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we've seen in a couple of scenarios where Sony's just like, we didn't like what you said. We're not messing with you. And I don't know if this is what's going on in itself around the industry, but I do feel like when Microsoft gets criticized, a lot of people in the media don't really talk about it. A lot of people, influencers, don't talk about it, unless it's like little channels like us. I think because would I like to work with Sony in the future? Yes. Am I going to work with Sony in the future? Probably not. Like, you got the toxic positivity people on Twitter that you know, it doesn't matter what happens in the wrongful way, they'll make some post that's saying, oh, this is bad, but then they'll have like a caveat on top of that of why this is good. And it's not directly making it good, but it's something that appeals to make it good. So that's why I feel like toxic positivity people are worse than toxic people.
I can't stand them, bro.
At least toxic people will talk about something that is generally issues. They just magnetize it to hell and back. Like they will find the littlest things and bounce on it. But I feel like people would bring up legit issues with Microsoft, with Sony, with Nintendo. And you got these toxic positivity people on Twitter that's rewording everything they possibly can to, one, get their point across, and two, make it to where no one's upset with their comments.
Right.
And it's just like, look, I don't blame the people. I don't blame the influencers. I don't blame no one. I call it toxic positivity not because of the people doing it, but because of the behavior behind it. I call it that because I feel like if you put someone in a position where they need the industry to grow, I don't blame them for doing what they got to do to live. I don't. I don't feel like I feel like we should come together and stop that. But at the end of it, what are we going to do? Nothing. You know, there's not a lot you can do in those kind of scenarios, because what people don't realize is these kind of relationships are always like this. And I've always felt like companies should be open to open criticism. Well, you guys can talk about Ubisoft all you want, but you can say whatever you want about their games. And as long as you were respectful, sometimes not respectful. I've seen people say some crazy stuff to Ubisoft, and they still get that review code. Ubisoft is open for criticism. I don't feel like the same thing with PlayStation. You know what?
I agree.
PlayStation won't even let you criticize your bank account. If someone hacks your stuff because of their security, and you take it to your bank account and say, yo, they wouldn't fix it, I want you to make it right, PlayStation be like, oh, you snitch? They are getting you for snitching. They'll be like, we getting you up out of here. We shutting your whole thing down. And I think that kind of mentality is the issue here. Microsoft, on occasion, I've gotten a DM that's like, yo, I listen to your words. They don't belittle me or anything. They say, this is why you're wrong. Let me explain it. Because I don't know half the stuff I talk about. I'm pure speculation. I'm the speculation king. I don't know I don't know how to make a console. I don't know how to make a controller. I don't know anything about network. I don't know how to make an Xbox. I don't know how to make games. But I can talk about them. And what I like about Microsoft is they will hit me up and they'll say, this is how the process works. This is what you don't understand. And then I'm educated. I'm good. But I don't think that happens on PlayStation. What do you think, there?
No, it doesn't. Perfect example. I mentioned Survivor, the website Survivor earlier this year. They gave Horizon Forbidden West, I don't know, maybe a 6 or something, 6.5 or something like that. And word got around when GT7 came out, PlayStation did not give them a review code. And they previously gave them a review code for every PlayStation exclusive. So when they gave Horizon Forbidden West a low score, PlayStation was like, nope, we're done with you guys. So there was consequences. As you said, there seems to be consequences with PlayStation. If they don't like a certain thing, and if your IGN, GameSpot, and all these other websites, it's kind of your bread and butter. And PlayStation, they're one of the big three. So they threaten you. Well, they might not openly threaten you, but it seems like people walking on eggshells around, like when it comes to PlayStation. They're timid. They're scared to say certain things about PlayStation.
I actually feel like Microsoft's too open for criticism. Like, I feel like when you get it, there's a difference between criticism that's justified and criticism that you didn't even play the game.
Right.
Like, and I feel like sometimes Microsoft will take punches from people because they're big influencers, and they'll come back professional next time. And I get it. It's about the bag. It's about selling product. But at the same time, it's like, if this dude has done nothing but consistently show you that he does not mess with your brand, he will do anything he can to belittle it at any time of the day. Sometimes I feel like it's okay just to cut ties.
Yeah.
And especially with the Xbox One generation, they were given. Man, I remember I saw someone got a TV. Not a TV, a refrigerator. You know, the mini refrigerators? They made big refrigerators for certain influencers.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I remember they gave it to this chick that opened boxes. It wasn't even she's never done anything with refrigerators.
Are you talking about the blonde chick? I can't think of her name.
She got it and she's opening the box, and I'm just like, she doesn't even do games.
Yeah.
Like, I get that you're trying to show this product off, but you're not even selling the product. Like, you made these to give them to influencers. You're not even selling these. So why are you doing it?
Because maybe she got to follow him. Because you got to follow him. Right? She got a huge following. Millions.
I get it, and that's like this. My previous statement wasn't really directed towards her, but it's just like, maybe I'm not educated enough in marketing to understand like the mask. I consider that blind marketing, where she is probably, even if she got 3 or 4 million followers, she's not making content for games. So how many of those people can you realistically come back to you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I was working at Dish Network, I always heard, because I was always in meetings and stuff, and always heard stuff when it came to like the Super Bowl. The reason people go to the Super Bowl is because of that blind marketing. You go to the Super Bowl, people don't really advertise to like the little stuff in TV anymore. Like they spend a lot of their money in marketing. I'm going to try to reach out to some marketing people I know to like educate us exactly how the marketing thing works, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because
I'm curious on exactly what goes into marketing. I'm curious to know exactly how it works.
Well, I'm going to say this real quick before you continue. I think there's a lot of different ways to look at it. I see what you're saying, but at the same time, a person that's a huge influencer, like she got a huge channel, and she's a good-looking woman, too.
I can't remember what she looked like.
Yeah. I think you're talking about the Justine chick. She's a good-looking woman.
Did she get it delivered in her garage?
Yeah, her. I Justine, because I saw it also. Now, I watched her channel, that video. I never watched her channel before that, but I watched that video.
And have you watched one video since?
Not one since, but because you're right,
blind marketing.
Yeah, that's what it is. But because I'm a gamer, I saw, she's opened up this Xbox refrigerator. Let me check it out. I turned to it. Now, also, she's a good-looking woman. Now, if I was like, hey, man, and If I was super Thursday, I probably would have subscribed to her. Hey man, she's a good looking woman. Let me check her. But what was happening? There are tons of other people say, "Yo, this Xbox refrigerator is dope." Man, I wish they had a smaller version. Oh, they do got a smaller version.
Okay, so now that you bring it that way, I can understand from that kind of standpoint. Someone in the chat did say they gave it to Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg makes sense. Snoop Dogg games. Yeah. Actually, Snoop Dogg has probably done more for the Xbox brand than we have because Snoop Dogg's got a massive following. He got no problem going on Twitter and talking that smack.
Yeah.
Like, if his Madden doesn't load correctly in 15 seconds, he is on Twitter saying, fix your network, Microsoft. I want to play Madden. Or 2K or whatever he plays these days. I don't know.
But he rocks out with Xbox, though. He's an Xbox. Even though he's a casual, he only play like Madden and sports games. But he's a casual. But he rocks out with Xbox, though. No doubt about it.
Got a $2 super chat from Raiden Blaine. Sony feeding the Stockholm Syndrome to snooze. Talking about the PlayStation. It's like that. That's all I was really wanting to talk about when it comes to that is, I just don't understand why no one's talking about it, first off. And second off, they were already making money. Now they're making more money. And now they're increasing the price to make more money.
Yeah.
When are we going to start? I do want to ask you, Dirk, because I want to end this in about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
When is it enough to where we can all sit and comfortably accept that this isn't PlayStation 4's generation? Because I think that is a conversation we need to start having. I
think we should have been start having it.
This isn't the PlayStation 4 generation. It's like I said, this is one of those people. It's like a Mike Tyson thing. Retired, felt like they left at the top, and now the predecessors coming through. Now they feel like, okay, let's do this again, and they get knocked out in the first round.
Yep. I love this question, by the way.
So
let me get this.
Okay.
Before you go, Dan Lazaro, the homie Dan Lazaro with the $2. She games on the Xbox a lot and is a Halo fan.
Okay, well then that makes sense. See, you educated me, Dan. I didn't know that. It's like I said, I looked at that and no hate on her. Maybe a little bit of envy there. I wanted a damn refrigerator, but it was just a lot of looking at that, I just didn't see the point. Long live the Black Mamba with the $2 super.
What's up,
Can't
homie?
wait to get King. Can't wait until Get King get a hold of this. Oh, he gonna go crazy.
King on.
I don't think you guys realize what King about to do Sunday.
Man.
What's funny is, I'll tell you guys what topic I picked. I don't know if King's picked the topic yet. I picked the topic we're talking about now. So don't. We have this new thing on IOP where every Lord comes to the podcast with their own topic because we're passionate and we want to talk about it. And now it's, what did King pick? That's every week we try to figure out what topic is King's. And if there's two anti-PlayStation topics, which one of those is King's? Because most of the time it is a King thing. And I think you guys are going to enjoy it, man. I think you guys are going to enjoy it. But tell me what your logic on this is, man. Am I tripping? Am I bugging?
Let me say what's up to my boy Post Up. What's up, Post? Man, good to see you, bro.
I got to get Post Up on here one day.
Yeah, Post Up's the man, bro. The Post Up's the man. He's been bleeding green since the beginning. He never wavered, never flip-flop. He was out there fighting the ponies, but shout out to Post, man. I'm sorry. So what was we talking about?
It's just, when is the time to sit
the
here
question, right? Okay. I love this question, by the way. I'm passionate about this topic. So I love the question. This is not the PS4 generation. We knew that in September of 2020. Why I'm saying this is because, first off, this is not the same Xbox from last generation. This is a more aggressive Xbox with Microsoft fully behind them. So, therefore, the PS5 does not have the same advantage out the gate that they had with the Xbox One. A lot of people that was on Xbox 360, I know some personally in my life, they moved to the PS4 for whatever reason. Price of the Xbox One or whatever reason. They moved to the PS4. A lot of people did that. Now, this time, we're not really seeing people move to the PS5. We're seeing some people move back to the Xbox. We're seeing some people stay with PlayStation. We're seeing some people stay with Xbox. But PlayStation doesn't have that advantage of a wounded Xbox going into this new generation. 2, Xbox is just spending money like crazy. We already know what's going on. And 3, some of the decisions PlayStation has made, from $70 games. And me personally, I don't have a problem with $70 games, but some people do have a problem with it. $10 upgrade fee. When your biggest competitor doesn't have that upgrade fee for these games, you look kind of foolish. Like, why are your games getting this damn upgrade fee? 3, I believe PlayStation is admitting that they were behind in certain aspects. What I mean is games as a service, multiplayer games. I always say this, Addict, the PS4 generation, in my opinion, while it was a great generation for Sony, great games, some things about that generation is coming back to bite them in the butt. What I mean is games as a service, multiplayer games. Last generation, the industry before our very eyes was changing. We was noticing
They didn't change with it.
They didn't change with it. They said, no, we're going to continue to do these $200 million single-player games. Well, they were great games. Don't get me wrong. Well, you play them, you beat them. That's it. Then they see a free-to-play game like Fortnite making tons of money. They see a game, PUBG making tons of money. Warzone making tons of money. When you have to rely
when you're being envy towards PUBG, you need to change how you're doing things.
Exactly. But the thing is, when you have to rely on a third-party game to be your best-selling, most profitable game every year, that's where the issue comes into play. Now, that third-party game is about to get picked up by your biggest competitor. Now you're no. There we go, man.
Shout out to BG. I love, regardless how people feel about BG, BG's been so extra over this Call of Duty thing. Because BG's always been like, look, Sony needs to do better multiplayer. He's been saying that for years.
Yeah.
And everyone keeps saying, well, their mindset is they don't need to work on multiplayer. They'll let everyone else do the multiplayer and they'll just do the single player.
I remember that.
And when they announced they're buying Call of Duty, BG quotes, he's like, so what about that multiplat doing the multiplayer? What's going on there, guys? Like, and he's right, because if they would have took the initiative to make sure that they had a valuable service at that time, and they would have built up some brands. Obviously, you're not going to have hits every time.
No, of course not.
They would have built up a brand. They would have something to answer to this. Now they're in a situation to where they might have to actually work with Microsoft and maybe give up things that they were going to do in the future to make sure PlayStation stays on for that duration, that 3 years.
Thanks.
Obviously, I don't know if they did anything like that. But for all we know, Sony was lining up something that was going to be devastating to Microsoft and help them a lot. And then Microsoft just pops in and is like, yeah, we know about that. I know you didn't think we know about that, but we know about that. How? And you just look at Jim. Jim, how important is Call of Duty staying on your platform? How important? Let's be realistic here. You got that time exclusive you about to do, Jim. How much do you want it? And Jim's sitting there looking at film like, I liked it, but and then Phil just look at him like, how much you like Call of Duty? I like Call of Duty. I like Call of Duty too, Phil. So can I feel like there's a way, there's a world where we keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation platform, but you don't put any of that over there to us. Like, we don't like that. We don't like that, Jim. We like fairness. If we're letting stuff stay on your platform, I think it would be safe to say Square Enix games could come to Xbox platform. What do you think about that, Jim? I guess, Phil. As long you'll keep Call of Duty on our platform, though, right? We'll do it for 3 years. 3 years, I think, is pretty good. Pretty good, Jim. I think 3 years is good.
That's inadequate. I got a terrible upbringing. That's inadequate, Phil. Man, you know what? The thing is so funny because going back to your initial question, In 2020, Addict, I know you noticed it. I might have asked you this before. I know you noticed the community. An influx of Xbox guys just came out of nowhere in 2020. There were some guys that told me they found my channel in 2020 while in quarantine. So there was this whole crew, new Xbox guys that came in just talking trash. And I was like, whoa, this is definitely different from last generation. Last generation, it just seemed like it was 5,000 PlayStation guys and 100 Xbox guys. That's how I seen last generation because, PlayStation 4 was so popular. But yeah, I mean, you would have to be a fool not to see the Xbox has some momentum. Addict, Xbox ain't had no damn first party games all year. But yet and still, PlayStation get destroyed the last few months, man.
And what's funny is like, sure, I will say that, they haven't won NPD in a couple months. They've always lost by like a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I think it's safe to say, Dirt, coming from Xbox One generation, there shouldn't be no 20,000 difference.
Right.
There should be 2 to 3 to 1. I thought the bangers would carry them this whole way.
The bangers.
Dirt. Like, it's almost like it's a new generation, Dirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's like PlayStation. They really thought people was going to go out there and, you know what? I like my PlayStation 5. I know this is $100 more expensive. And in some of the words, $50 more expensive. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it.
That's your Bobby Boucher because it sounded like Bobby Boucher.
My Bobby Boucher, bro. I'm going to buy it. I don't care if it's cheaper. Oh, what do you play? I just play Madden. That's all. Madden. Okay, I think this Xbox
Madden.
Series.
I like Madden better.
This Xbox Series X, it does pretty good. But how much is it? It's $300. Well, why is the PlayStation 5? Whoa, well, Bobby, it's $500 because that's what the PlayStation 5 retails.
Mama said it's $500. Mama said.
Mama said that's good. I can. So what? I can buy a game. I can buy Call of Duty. Well, actually, Bobby, Call of Duty comes with the Xbox Series S in Game Pass.
What?
Really? You out your mind?
Lose his damn mind, right? Bobby gonna lose his damn mind, man.
I can go play foosball now.
Mama be proud. Hey, you know what's so funny though, Addict? This Christmas, this holiday, man, I know Sony has God of War. Listen, bro. Was that AGC that said earlier on Twitter that he heard a rumor about Xbox might do a price drop this holiday? Listen, man, that Xbox Series S is going to be $250, bro. I don't give a damn what banger, quote unquote, PlayStation has. The Xbox Series S is going to move units. I don't give a damn what game PlayStation has.
You know what's funny is the fact that we all know that even if God of War comes out and it's selling it not as great as they anticipated, they're gonna hit the red button, Dirt. They're gonna just bundle that. Play God of War ain't selling that well. And Jim Ryan's like, bundle it. Okay, we'll get $500. No, $550. They paying for that. No,
they paying for it.
So we are giving them the $20 discount. Oh, that's right. We did do the price increase. $570. Like.
They're going to love it. Trust me. They're going to love it.
So let me ask you a real quick question. This is completely off topic, but we've been off topic for a minute. What's your Metacritic score prediction for God of War? Because I'm curious. Honestly, I don't think we're going to see much more than we've seen already. Like,
yeah. Sure.
So put in the chat what the chat's Metacritic score will give you a 3-point difference. Like you could have like 87 to 91, 3 points.
I think 91 actually.
91. So you think it's still going? So said 13. You still think it's gonna hit over the 90s?
I think so. I think PlayStation hasn't hit over 90s in a while. I think they're gonna get it 90. Yeah, they're gonna get it 90.
Yo, why is it that sucker? You know what, Kid Smooth? Make a bet with me. that God, I will bet you, Kid Smooth, that God of War will get an 89, and Kid Smooth bet with me that it gets a 95. Let's get that in the 80s.
95? Mine got 95.
No, because see, whatever Kid Smooth does, it's the opposite.
Oh, right. I remember y'all said
so Kid Smooth bets it's an over a 90. It's going to be under a 90. I believe in the power of Kid Smooth. Okay, like, and in the words of BG, he's a weapon of mass destruction right now. Like, if you want to win wars, just have Smooth bet that you're gonna lose that war. Like,
that's funny.
$2 super chat.
Shout out to Smooth
from the angry therapist. 89 for that DLC. I don't think it's DLC. Look, like King might joke around about that. I think it's going to be a very look. If you want to get technical, almost every sequel to a lot of games looks like DLC because for the most part they reuse assets. They do a lot of stuff to save costs because that's the reason most of the time that sequel doesn't take 5 extra years to make. It takes like 3 because they want that out as fast as possible. And I think we're going to see a good game, man. I think God of War is going to hit, I think maybe a 91, 90. I don't know why. For some reason, everything in me doesn't think it's going to get past the 91. I don't know. I hope it does because, like, Dirt, it's been dry out here. Like, I'm struggling. I'm struggling to stay awake. I'm falling asleep right now on the podcast. Like, I'm struggling, man. I need good games. And I'm not saying there hasn't been good games. But you know, every year there's like that one killer IP. I don't feel like we've gotten that in a while.
Yeah.
No, Elden Ring. I would say Elden Ring was one of those.
Elden Ring.
Yo, there's only usually one. Once of Elden Ring's that game, and like it's like the gaming gods have just ascended the energy from God of War. The moment Sony's like it's coming out in 2022, they're like, we like Elden Ring more. We're just gonna give them all the energy. Like $2 super chat from Pixelbit G. Just note half of the stage could be from 2018 stages. Oh, so he's saying they could reuse stages. They probably will, or they'll take a stage and put snow on it and just redirect some of like the assets on it.
Listen, new biome.
Instead of the rock being over here, it's gonna be over here.
Yeah, you like they when they grab the cursor and just move the rock from the left to the right side.
And I could hear the reviewers right now. You know, I really love the new stages. Like,
yeah. Hey man, one quick question before we go. It's September 7th. Didn't people say there was going to be a PlayStation Showcase on September 8th? Well, September 9th?
In that case, it's not happening. But was you trying to throw some shade?
No, I just know people in the chat was curious at it. They just wanted to know. Some people were saying it's guaranteed to happen September 8th, which is tomorrow. I don't see it happening on Friday either. Maybe Monday. Maybe they announce it tomorrow.
I mean, Monday. At this point, let's just say it's happening next year. Like, we keep pushing the post.
Hey, let me tell you something. If PlayStation doesn't have a showcase this year, you talking some serious trash, bro.
Oh, so okay. Let me get these super chats. We're gonna talk about that briefly. All right. So we got a $5 super chat from Long Live the Black Mobile. I love that name. I don't know why. Modern Warfare comes out a week before God of War and is looking like the best COD in years. Watch God of War be below expectations and everything they know will crumble. Yo, I'm gonna re-roll with you. If God of War comes out and it's like a low 80s, I'm roasting people. Like I'm roasting people. Like, you know that scene in Fallout New Vegas where you're walking and everyone is like being crucified and stuff? I'm roasting people to that degree. Everybody's getting it. If God of War isn't to where people look, I'm gonna still play it. I'm gonna still enjoy it because I love God of War. Yeah. But if it's not how some of the people be trying to hype this God of War up for years, people have been hyping this game up. Like right now, as long as it comes out this year, it can't get delayed though. It cannot get delayed because I cannot do another Bend the Knee with King. It's got to come out this year. But if that game does not come out and it hits the way it is, I'm roasting people because they've been roasting me. But as long as it don't get delayed. All right, let's talk about that real quick. Let me actually make another. You just brought up a new topic, man.
Oh man, my bad, man.
PlayStation, the timestamp mafia. I could just leave this out of here, but I'm not. MIA for 2022 ? We are at 1 hour and 51 minutes, timestamp Mafia. So you got that 1 hour and 51 minutes. All right, so I guess my question to you would be 15 seconds. I'll put 15 seconds. Where do you think it's going to come if it does come this year?
If it does come this year, I'm thinking later this month. Because if it was going to be the 12th, they would have probably announced it this week.
I mean, we keep getting like a little bit of. I haven't seen no one worth anything leak anything for this thing yet.
Yeah,
it's always been like, I know a guy that knows a guy that knows a guy that knows. It's never like anyone worth anything. Like people in the chat, I haven't really been keeping up with Twitter a whole lot. Like, put in the chat if there is people that's saying stuff like this, because I'm curious.
The only thing I saw at it, the snitch, like, the snitch, right? He's pretty accurate. He said Tinder, right? Like the dating website Tinder. So people's like, what? And I forgot who said it. It was like, well, Tinder was developed or not developed. What's the word I'm looking for? It started on September 12th. So that's why some people's running with, is he saying the PlayStation Showcase is September 12th? That's all he said. Now, he didn't say anything about PlayStation. He just said Tinder.
So 12.
So that's what some people were running with. Now, the 12th is Monday. If they don't announce it tomorrow or Friday, it's not going to be Monday.
Have they ever done one on a Monday, though?
Not that I remember. I remember maybe they did one. They're always on Thursdays.
So that means it would have to be neither tomorrow, the 15th, the 22nd, or the 29th of this year. Is there any holidays this year on those days?
September? No.
So it could be any of those days. Now, I think this week's crossed out. It's crossed out.
Yeah, I think this week is definitely crossed out.
I feel like next week's probably crossed out too, because we would be hearing some form of leaks by now.
Or like have they ever announced a showcase? Now, I do remember them announcing like a state of play like a couple days before, but a showcase, they usually give us at least a week.
So I would say next week's probably out too. Like maybe.
Maybe we'll see.
If it doesn't get in by the end of the week, next week's probably not happening either. Because it's like I said, normally we get semi-leaks, then we get an announcement, then a week later we get the actual event.
Yeah.
So we haven't heard nothing. It's been dropped.
Anything, bro.
No PlayStation news. Yeah, I feel bad for PlayStation Shaun. That's probably why I talk about Xbox so much. But anyway,
Look.
Okay, let's say that it doesn't happen. Let's say that September comes and goes, no event. And I want to point out that I believe they're going to have an event. Good point.
I think they're going to have one too.
Good point. Tokyo Game Show's next week too. So I don't think they're going to want to do anything next week because of Tokyo Game Show. So it'd have to be the week after. But at that point, is it kind of I'm starting to think they might not be here this year.
I forgot about Tokyo Game Show's names.
And Xbox is at Tokyo Game Show, and PlayStation is not.
And you look, I also like Live Supremacy. I forgot that the Marvel show is Friday. Wow. Ubisoft is Saturday. Shouldn't they be somewhere around here?
Yo, remember a couple years ago they said they're going to be at thousands of events or something like that?
Listen, we're going to be 100-some events after they cancel E3. We're going to be 100-some events. Where?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was the pandemic, so probably, that probably ended.
No, that was 2019 when they did that, brother. They canceled that in 2019 before the pandemic.
Hundreds of events. Hundreds.
Okay, but that went down to dozens.
That was that, like, I don't even think it was dozens, man. I don't remember. They weren't at PAX that year.
Yeah, they wasn't. No.
They're like, they're doing like those comedy shows. They have like a PlayStation boot in the back. They're selling like shirts and like coffee mugs.
Oh man! Now I remember 2020. They actually had 2 shows in 2020 during the height of the pandemic. I thought both shows was decent. Now the September show I thought was really good, but whatever they showed didn't matter because when they announced that Horizon Forbidden West and Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and all that stuff would be on the PS4, that's the only thing people talked about. Like, Jim Ryan lied to us. He said we believe in generations, but I remember they had 2 shows in 2020. They had one last year. Of course, they always had state of plays here and there, but now both of those now in 2020 and 2021, those shows are in September. So this is getting interesting.
You have just, like, I ain't gonna lie, man. You have just, I didn't think about that. Like, I didn't think about, especially now since they're talking about the Tokyo Game Show. That really does get a question when they're doing it.
Yeah.
Like, are they willing to go after Tokyo Game Show, like a week after Tokyo Game Show? If not, we're talking about 2 weeks. Because at that point, we're talking about the end of September. And about the end of September, we're in October.
Damn, that's something to think about, man. Oh, my God.
So let me ask you a question, Dirt. Hypothetically, we in the world of the Addict world, the Addict world.
Okay.
Addict world, I don't know if you know this, but I'm the governor of the Addict world, okay? Everything in my reign is controlled by me. So I'm saying in the Addict world, PlayStation doesn't have a show this year. What is your thought process in the Addict world? They don't have a show this year.
If PlayStation doesn't have a show, do you know what that means to me personally?
What does that mean to you personally?
I think that means they don't have enough to show. I think that means Spider-Man 2 is probably the next big, besides God of War, of course, the next big game that comes out first party. And I don't think anything else is ready. If you think about Guerrilla, they just dropped Horizon. Polyphony just dropped GT7. Naughty Dog already said they're developing the multiplayer game, and they won't show that until next year. God of War is dropping in November. Sucker Punch, they're working on Ghost of Tsushima 2. That's not ready yet. All of those studios they bought this year, last year, they're working. They're not ready to show anything. Like Haven, they're not ready to show anything.
So, but we have...
Maybe they're going to focus on VR.
We have... Yo. Dirt. Tell me, what's Twitter going to look like if they announce a show next week and it's nothing but the free-to-play games and VR stuff?
You know the answer to this question, Natty.
I got to hear it, though, man. I might not know. We might not be thinking about the same thing.
So you're asking me if PlayStation, they have a show, but they only show, what'd you say?
They only show the 10... games as a service that they have development, and some of them, not all of them, and they show VR titles because they've showed VR at these events before. So
they definitely have. All I know is that Pro Xbox channels that talk trash like mine, we are going to have a field day on Twitter, on social media. I'm going to go live. My boy Shaun going to go live. We're going to have a field day. If something like that happens, because I'm going to tell you right now, all my hate, I don't hate anybody, but all of this built up resentment for PlayStation fanboys was created last generation, and it's just like a big ball of fire.
If that happens, I'm gonna have to like jump up and like imagine like me going from like I'm Batman, like going from rooftop to rooftop, and then I just hit like a button, and there's just a big ass dirt sign in the sky. I'm about to Batman your ass. Like it's gonna be like an emergency Addict show. It's like I just hit it and be like bing, and it's just like a giant sign I don't even think I want it in the air. Because I feel like that's disrespectful to PlayStation at that point. I want it like in the dirt. That's where it is. It's in the dirt. I'm summoning dirt from the dirt. Like it's like a giant symbol.
Hey, now the Black John has something. If they do have a show, excuse me, they'll focus on Final Fantasy Forspoken. But stuff that's not first party. They might focus on some third party stuff. Because I do believe they're going to have a show this year. I think they have to. And they're going to have when they're going to show some VR stuff, they're going to show, the Final Fantasy stuff. Like I said, Forspoken. I'm trying to think of what else they have. I don't know, man. Maybe this is some other third-party games they haven't announced. So I do believe they're going to have a show, but I think it might be a little light on first party stuff besides God of War and probably Spider-Man too.
So I had a quick question. Do you think that if they do have if they do that, do you think it's going to, what do you think the outreach would be? Like, because I feel like if Microsoft went out there and they just showed second party stuff, people would be a little upset. Maybe because they just showed so much first party stuff, like, Spider-Man, Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm God of War. That's about all. That's all I can think about right now. But do you think that they would be okay with that? Or do you think that it would be one of those things where people like, that's cool that I get to play that PlayStation, but what's your people doing? Like,
yeah, I think some people will ask that question. Like, okay, I think if that happened, I think the show would get a negative rating, even from like besides the extreme ponies.
Negative ratings.
See, like they'll be like, look, man, we've seen Final Fantasy 16, we've seen Forspoken. It's cool
if
to
I
see
Forspoken one more damn time, I swear.
Hey, man, that game look like ass, man. I gotta be honest. It'd be cool to see some Spider-Man 2 gameplay because we're hearing that, I guess somebody on Twitter said they heard that the game looks great, which I'm expecting it to look great because the Insomniac is a pretty good developer. So I am expecting that game to look great. But I think if they don't show anything new and big first party, people are going to be disappointed. Like, come on, PlayStation, what's going on? We know about Spider-Man. We know about Forspoken.
Forspoken's definitely. I'm not gonna say the game looks horrible. I do think that it doesn't look appealing to me. I am a huge Final Fantasy fan. I think 15 was a good game. It wasn't. I think I was so bad with 12. 13. I felt like 15 was a step in the right direction. But I don't think, because these are the developers that are making Forspoken, is those people.
Okay. It
just doesn't look appealing. Like every time I see it, like they show me, she's in this world. But I don't see nothing with this world. Like there's no appealing stuff to it. Like right. I don't feel like there's no energy in the storytelling. There's some cringy dialogue too, and it's just like especially the dialogue too, and it's just like I don't get why they continue that dialogue. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it might have worked with the Kingdom Hearts and the older Final Fantasies, but it's like, can we please get some serious dialogue? Like, this isn't supposed to be not like a serious game. It's supposed to be a serious game. Why do we have such cringy dialogue? I don't know. What do you think? What do you think Forspoken's going to Metacritic score? 82.
From what we've seen
82.
so far,
82.
From what we've seen so far, about 81 to 82.
82. Yeah. If this gets below 70, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, you know what I'm doing. TTSing, baby. Talking that.
So look, I'm curious. Chat. Put in that chat what you think it's gonna get. If anyone posts above an 80, you get blocked. 70, 69. I think it's gonna get above a 69. 77. I think if this game got in the 70s, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. It wouldn't surprise me. No. But we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap this up, man. I appreciate everyone coming through, man.
Thank you, man. It's have fun, bro.
We are. Let me check the Mafia police. Okay, we're at 2 hours and 5 minutes. I try to keep these below 2 hours. Most of the time, I do a good job about it. But this, well, you know what it was. I blame you. That was my fault. We was about to end this show, and then you asked me what happens if PlayStation didn't show up this year. I didn't actually really answer that. Yeah, just to clarify, I don't think it looks bad for Sony, but I do think that's one of those things where it's like, it's not a good look if you're not there in any way, shape, or form. And people get to say, well, they have nothing to show, just like you said. That is true. They probably have nothing to show. But they did announce games like 8 years before they came out, too.
Yeah.
So it's just like, at that point, do they have nothing to show, or do they just not want to show it? I don't know. It's debatable.
That's a good question. If they don't, honestly, if they don't have a show, like you said, I don't think it's gonna really hurt them. Maybe it will, but maybe not that much. But like that GIF for that NBA player Nick Young where the question marks pop up, he like if they don't have a show, that's me. Like what? Yeah, what's going on, Sony?
Because it doesn't make sense. I think that's the biggest thing. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't.
Like, and to think about it, we're a few months away from Microsoft. Like Microsoft had theirs a while ago, like June.
Yeah.
June, July, August, September, with 3 months.
I know the Video Game Awards comes up, and Microsoft always shows something there. But I don't know, man. But see, this is the thing that I know we're going to end, but this is the one thing I want to say before we go. Even during a year like 2017. When Xbox had no games, they still had a show. 2018, they had no games, they still had a show. So it makes you question, like, okay, PlayStation, do you care enough? But I think they'll have a show, though. But as of right now, I'm talking trash because they haven't announced a show. But I do think they will have a show this year. When I don't know.
Yeah, and we're gonna have a good time if they don't. But anyway, man, tell the people where they can find you at, man. What's going on?
Hey y'all, check out my channel. Let me put my channel link in the chat. Dirk Griggity, I'm a pro Xbox channel that talks a lot of trash about PlayStation fanboys, but I also talk gaming news. That's what I do, just like any other channel. But I just try to be entertaining. So stop by, check it out. My podcast is on Monday evening.
Spam him. Who is it spamming? Spam him.
6:30 p.m. Eastern time, called WBG Xbox Podcast. So check it out, guys. I'm on Twitter at Griggity, Griggity. Well, you guys see it up there, my name. Oh, well, no, you don't see it. I see it. You don't see it. So that's about it, guys. Thanks for having me again, Addict.
Yeah, I'm Addict. Obviously, you're going to be at the ILP this Sunday at 1 p.m. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting show. Appreciate everyone coming through. We had about 340 people, somewhere around there. Might have been a little less, a little more. I don't know. I don't keep track. Appreciate everyone coming through, man. Every week you guys pull up, and we always try to deliver. Sometimes we don't deliver. Sometimes we like to take a little break and just cruise control. I'm joking, man. We come in here every day with 100% energy. I come in here every day as Goku Ultra Instinct. All right? But I appreciate everyone coming through. I'm going to direct you guys to Fame over there. Go in there. Type in his chat when you go over there. Say Addict from the Addict and Dirt sent you from Addict Show. I appreciate everyone coming through. You guys have been terrific, man. And until next week, this is Addict and Dirt, and we